Hey, Mike. Can you hear me? I cannot hear you.
Now you're hearing me, right?
Now I can hear you. And I heard a little crackle.
I had my mute on.
What's the crackle? Is that on your end?
It may be. I'm not hearing anything. Are you hearing something?
It's clear. It sounds like it's clearing up a little bit.
Are you hearing something when I talk or when you speak?
Now sounds good. It cleared itself up.
Actually, this part of the reason why I like to start these early is because there is a little bit of a ramp up. It seems like
it's got to get warmed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting all the audio synced out and everything.
Good.
What I'll do is I'll go ahead. Good to see you. Let me get this off of here. Next scene. So welcome here. I see Chris has joined us as well. I don't know why it shows some viewers on here twice, but anyway, glad you could join us today, Nathan. Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you, Mike. It's my pleasure.
Would you go ahead and just introduce whoever's listening to you? Tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing these days.
Well, it's exciting to be here in the middle of the day with whoever's listening. It's I'm down in Dallas. I do ministry inside of workplaces. So as you can imagine, Mike and I are equally united in spirit and share the same mission. I go from workplace to workplace, ministering to staff, right where God has them planted, throughout the Dallas Metroplex.
Very cool. And you just started doing that, correct? Tell us a little bit more about the ministry.
Yeah, it's been about a year now. I joined a friend of mine in ministry. He's been in ministry for about 3 years. He's heavy on discipleship, spiritual growth. My heart is for evangelism. And so the pillars of the ministry, Kingdom Focused Coaching, the pillars are discipleship, evangelism, and serving the needy. That looks like a lot of ways, not only financially. So he works with couples and men on growing closer to God. He's gifted in that, has written materials, and God has really given him a large mission field. My heart is what's going on at the workplace. How do you walk closer with Christ in the workplace? How do you apply what you learn on Sunday to where you are on Monday? I do have a lot of opportunities for evangelism. That is wonderful. But my favorite thing to do inside the workplace is find Christians and set them on mission. Teach them how to live on mission at work. So it's a 24/7 deal, but I'm all in.
Yeah, and it just took off 24/7, right? You've already too busy, correct?
Yeah, and God's really been working on me lately with timing and scheduling. So I came out of the corporate world, 22 years in business, and that was a progression of time. As I grew spiritually, I reached the point to where I saw my work as ministry, and to where I realized I needed to be on mission at work. And then I began seeing business as ministry, and then I began feeling conviction for those that are not just at the top running the business, but those inside. So God slowly, or maybe he tried to do it faster. I'm just not very smart, but God progressed me through that, and my heart grew more and more for living out your faith at work. So for
Yeah.
22 years, he did that through me in my heart. And then as I began ministry like business. That's what I knew. So Outlook calendar, as we began taking on workplaces, I would schedule them 10 o'clock on Tuesday. This is where I'm going to be, and I'll be there for an hour. Then I have a 20-minute drive, and then I'll be at this next place. And that I've been operating that way for about 8 months, because that's what I knew. And again, like he does, he continues to sanctify us, continues to shape us. And he began talking to me since Christmas about my schedule and about my timing, and he revealed some things to me that I didn't even know I was doing it right. I was doing it wrong. So I feel that God says to me, I don't do ministry the way you do business in America. No. I thought, ouch, what does that mean? And he says, I need you to let me breathe a little more. Again, I'm hearing you, but I don't understand what you mean. So just a few weeks ago, I'm at a workplace. We do a Bible study at this factory here in McKinney every Thursday at 6:15. The Bible study lasts from 6:15 to 7, and then from 7 to 8, I'll walk the factory floor, ask folks how I can pray with them, just get to know them a little better. So it was 7 o'clock on Thursday a few weeks ago, right after he's convicted me of I need to breathe a little bit. And I say, okay, Lord, this is you're doing a lot of growth in this Bible study discipleship group. You're doing a lot. Thank you. And this is the first day that I'm trying to understand what you mean by allowing you to breathe. So I'm about to go out to the factory floor. I'm going to walk around, see who I can pray with, but I'm not going to look at my watch. You know where I need to be next. You know what time it is. I'm going to be very intentional. I'm going to be very present. I'm going to be very present. And I began out like normal. Fourth person salvation. And I said, okay, Lord, I see that you okay, this is less of me, more of you, right? I continue on around the factory, and I'm in the conversation, right? I'm not worried about where I'm going next. I'm not looking at the clock. I'm just listening to the needs, and I'm present. Almost finished in another salvation. And I say, of all this year, I've never seen 2 salvations in the same workplace on the same day. So I say, okay, Lord, this is, I'm beginning to understand a little bit more about what you mean by breathing. I see that I wasn't quite as present as I needed to be. I was saying, how can I pray for you? And I was praying, and I was earnest and sincere, but I was also thinking, okay, I have 20 more minutes and I need to leave and get on the road.
Yeah.
I look at my watch, and it's 2 hours past when I was supposed to leave. I thought, okay, well, you know where I was going, right? And he teaches me that I needed to be present. I needed to be a little bit more engaged in the conversation. And of course, for the rest of the day, I wasn't behind. I wasn't late. I got to where I needed to go on time, and it all worked fine. And he's just been teaching me that lately of slow your feet down, slow your heart down. Ministry is a little different than work. Be present, listen, care. He's teaching me that as I walk. I mean, it's a daily, it's a growth thing. So that's something that he's been working on me about lately. So my Outlook calendar is still there. It's not a willy-nilly, I don't know where I'm going to be. I'm trying to be responsible, right? I walk around many appointments around many schedules. I know where I'm going, kind of what they're up to. But I have to do it in a way that allows him to breathe, as he says.
Yeah. Very cool. So I think that's very exciting. So how did you first, what prompted you to kind of move into this space from work? You mentioned a little bit, but you kind of shot over it.
Yeah.
And
so the fellow that I'm in ministry with, his name is Trog. Great friend. We've been friends for several years. And him and I are talking about work. We're talking about what God's doing in my life as I was in business. And he asked me one night on the phone, he says, if money wasn't an issue, if it didn't matter, if you didn't need to earn income, what would you do? And God had already put it in my heart. I mean, the answer was there on the tip of my tongue. It took no time. I said I would go into workplaces, and I would share the gospel, and I would minister to staff at work, and I would help with the struggle that I'm going through myself. I would help with, how do you apply what we learned on Sunday to work on Monday? How do I do it here in this location, in this office, with this HR person, real life application? How do I do it? And I said I would go from workplace to workplace, and that's what I would do all the time. Anybody that would let me in, I would just talk with staff and help them grow. And he says, "Well, go do it." I said, "Well,"
and that's what you're doing now, right?
Money is the issue. And after a few more minutes of the conversation, I had already been doing that through business, but I was using business to earn income and using the opportunity in business to get to the conversation. So it was a step out of the boat sort of moment of I'm going to have to find a way to fund this mission that's been planted into my heart. And that took a few months to work through. By the way, he said, "Buddy, that's called a chaplain." And I said, no, I don't want to be a chaplain. That's not what's on my mind. And he goes, "Well, that's what it is in the workplace. They have chaplains that, the Mavericks have chaplains. Tyson has chaplains. Every big corporation has chaplains. Some small companies have chaplains. Sports teams have chaplains. I mean, that's what we call that person that does ministry at work." And I said, "Okay, I logically understand what you're saying, but that's not where my heart's at. There's something a little bit different." Ironically, the two big chaplain organizations in America, I had been in conversations and in groups around that, and one of them had invited me for a couple of years to join them, and I said, "Well, no, I can't do that. I'm too busy." But there was still a money thing there, right? My heart. So he does ministry without charging. Okay, so my heart was, I didn't want. It took us a minute to get there, but it was not charging inside, not charging for ministry services, right? As a chaplain service is typically charged. So that was a hurdle to get through. And again, another step of faith of how do we do this without charging? Because clearly that's the model in America, is we charge for chaplaincy. So those big steps, big steps out of the boat of living on faith, but just leaning into where God was convicting my heart of kind of what felt right and what didn't feel right, and then seeking wise counsel around that. What do you think about not charging for ministry services, Mr. Business Owner? What do you think about not doing it this way, but doing it a new way? And do you think? And what happened is, as I eased up on charging for chaplaincy services, leaned more into workplace ministry, the workplace as a mission field and going in. God began opening doors and showing me folks that would support me as a missionary, which was much more, a lot more prevalent than charging the particular places I was going to, right? So he opened up this whole new look at what I can do here if you step out on faith, versus the model that comes to my mind is let me just find the workplace, charge, and then I'll go in. So again, a step of faith. I tell my wife, hey, so here I'm quitting my job. I'm going into ministry, and I have no way of earning income through the ministry. It's going to be strictly raising support. And Tiff, she's wonderful. She says, go for it. And God has been so good. So we don't charge the workplaces we go to.
Yeah.
All the support is raised separately. Most of the workplaces donate back to the ministry monthly, but there's no contract, there's no invoices.
Well, and that's actually the exact same challenge that I run into with Follower One. We don't want to charge. It's different when it's freely given.
Yeah.
Right? It's a totally different model. And it's the model I think Jesus designed. It's different when it's not a transaction.
I think there are times that it's appropriate to charge for ministry services. And there's some ministries God gives something to that a transaction is appropriate. In my situation, and probably in your situation, there needs to be no money between the employee and the ministry. Right?
Correct.
Right. Especially heavy evangelism. Right. There's no money between the person and Jesus. Right. Just let me in, and I'll share Jesus. We don't need a contract. We don't need invoicing. And he has given a lot of opportunities for evangelism. My heart is really heavy on evangelism. But of course, in the workplace or at that situation, it's inappropriate to lead someone to Christ and then not help them grow spiritually. Right.
Correct.
So my buddy that's heavy on spiritual growth, him and I just join together so perfectly. So now we can lead someone to Jesus and then help them become spiritually mature, all within one ministry. Right. God knew what he was doing.
Yeah, you there? I think you've frozen up a little bit on us. There you are. No, we got you back now.
So God knew what he was doing when he put him and I together. He knew that it's just inappropriate to lead somebody in a workplace setting that I'm going to go back to each week to Jesus and then not help them grow spiritually. Right?
Exactly.
But again, and my favorite is, let me find a Christian that's already there. The one that's already, I've been walking with Jesus for 40 years. I've been working here for 15, setting them on mission.
Correct.
I find so many Christians in the workplace that says, I don't know if I'm on God's plan. I don't know if I'm working at the right spot. I don't know how to live out my faith that I've carried with me for 40 years here.
Yeah.
Do you know this place? Like these people are crazy, that Christian that's been walking with Jesus for a while and then helping them live on mission is so special.
Yeah. Yeah, I see Steve just joined us too. Hi, Steve. So, I agree with you. Now, you're also involved in the Prestonwood Marketplace Ministry, and as a result, that's kind of how you got connected with Follower One, correct?
That's right. Through our church, we have a workplace ministry that God's been growing, and he's used Follower of One and workplace mission trips to grow others inside of our church. We did a test run of mostly pastors that was fruitful. That was wonderful. I think Billy Graham, it was, you tell me the year 2000. He says the next big revival in America is through the workplace. I think it was 2000. He said that.
Yeah, it might have been even before that.
It's so true. God is really doing a lot in the workplace, and many churches are moving into this area of application. How do we help you live out your faith?
Yeah. Well, follower of one, we're excited because we love the partnership. We want to partner with churches and help people, practice this in their marketplace.
Yeah.
And you've even talked to some of your clients about the businesses doing mission trips, correct?
Yes. I mean, I firmly believe that the workplace in America is the world's largest mission field. And
I agree.
we have one workplace of 75 that will be taking a mission trip soon. I was talking to the owner a couple of weeks ago. It will be unique from what we've done at Prestonwood. Prestonwood has been wherever you're working, we come together on follower of one, and then you go back out to your workplace. This will be, of 75, the ones that decided to participate on mission at work within for each other, right? It's kind of similar to what we did with the practice run at Prestonwood with the pastors.
Yeah.
It's all internal, which I know that the Lord is really going to use. It really will be a special trip.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait. We'll have to have another meeting and share with people how that goes. I did finally get a brochure together for business people, so I owe you that. I will send that along.
After I moved away from the chaplaincy sort of bookends, it looked a lot more like ministry at work. And things like a workplace mission trip and discipleship groups and serve Saturdays and all these sort of wonderful things that could be done inside a workplace that looked like what we do inside the church began coming out. Hospital visits and all sorts of wonderful things that isn't just there in that moment, that again, a little bit less transactional, right? So it would be my heart's desire, if it's God's will, that we would do a mission trip for every workplace eventually, because I know the power that these devotionals and this intentionality for 2 weeks, it's transformative in the lives of those ones that decide to go on it. It's not like any mission trip, right? It's the do it scared. I'm not sure how this is going to be. I feel like God's asking me. I'm just going to be obedient. Sort of. It's the thing that God does on almost all mission trips.
Yes.
Because I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work, but I'm just going to do it. And then he just really shows up on mission trip. Right. And those 2 weeks,
really cool.
Those 2 weeks become transformative.
Yeah. I'm excited about it and looking forward to it. And it's really interesting to me because I think I agree with you. God is putting this into more and more people's hearts, and we're challenged to do something with our faith. And I think technology is a big role player in that we're now capable of doing so much more than just waiting for someone to tell us what to do. And as a result, the people that we work with know there's more that we can be doing. And we feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I see a lot of hunger in Christians in the workplace, a lot of hunger, a generation that's moving beyond. I just learned about this on Sunday, a generation that is saying, we've been called to be ambassadors. We've been called to go. I'm looking for help. I'm looking for resources. I'm looking for guidance, actively. It's a whole couple of generations of saying, he said, go, I'm going to go. And I need help going.
Yeah.
I need somebody to help explain this to me. And churches are saying, okay, let us help teach you how to apply it. I see it in Sunday school classes saying, okay, how do we apply this lesson? And I see it through ministries like yours. Like here's the model. Here's the example. This is how we live Christ-like at work.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. So what's next for you? What's the next thing that you think that God's going to bring you into, or just more of doing what you're doing and seeing what happens next?
I try to, kind of like I was telling you about my schedule and my timing. I try to hold it so loosely, and it's important for us to set goals, and it's important for us to see where we're going. As our pastor says, if you never see it before you see it, you'll never see it. Right? It's important to have a direction that we're walking in. God, that's Proverbs 16:9. When man plans his way, God directs his steps. Some of the things that are hinting at the future, and I'm walking in this direction. He continues to put us in, Trog and I both, in positions where we're teaching the teachers. He continues to put us in positions to where we have influence over those that are leading others. And that's interesting if you think about a workplace and you think about what's the exit strategy. If I'm in X workplace and I've been there, how do I leave and move on and continue on mission? And he's showing me that he's raising up some of the Christians within the workplace to be strong, and they're capable of leading their others at workplace, even the ones that are coming on new and onboarding. They're able to learn how to share the gospel, teach their coworkers how to share the gospel, teach others how to grow in their faith. And I can see my presence in a couple of workplaces already weaning off, which is so great. So I see that as an exit strategy on some of them to be able to move on to others. And then we also see him putting us in positions to teach others that teach others, which is great. He's given us opportunities in different churches to teach this sort of thing that can be implemented by someone else other than ourselves. He's opening up opportunities in colleges. I've been in a couple of colleges recently, teaching those that are a couple of Bible colleges, teaching those that are learning how to be in ministry, how to share the gospel, and how to go. Again, all based around application. Rubber meets the road. How do we do it? Sort of stuff. But he keeps stepping us out in such a way that we're teaching the one that's going to teach the other one.
Exactly.
So I don't know if that's in a church or the universities or in business, but all three of those categories, he keeps zooming us out a little bit so that we end up teaching the one that is executing.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's exactly right, because that's what we're challenged with and we're praying about here with Follower One is, we have a vision for how to scale it, but we don't have the resources to scale it yet. And so it's okay. We don't have 37 churches all wanting to sign up today anyway. But I think that God is preparing us for that, because one day it will be a thing where these things that we're doing now, you're actively involved with people in their workplace, or we're challenging them through devotionals and things like that to be intentionally ministering in their workplace.
Yes.
That he's preparing us for that. And so that to me is exciting.
I'll tell you what comes to mind. Colossians 4:2. Continue steadfastly in prayer, being watchful in it with thanksgiving. I love
Yes.
that being watchful part.
Mm-hmm.
In what you just said, I see you living that verse, fully expectant that he is continuing the mission.
Yeah, he actually, so he has me memorizing Habakkuk 2:3. The
Okay.
vision is yet for the appointed time. It hastens towards the goal, and it will not fail.
Yeah.
Though it tarries, wait for it will certainly come. It will not delay.
Amen.
And so, yeah, this vision is happening, and
Yeah.
we get to be a part of it. Yeah, I'm grateful for you. Thanks for being on here today. I want to encourage people who are listening to this. Is there a way you guys have a place where people can go to donate to support your ministry?
Yeah, you can go to kingdomfocuscoaching.org.
Kingdomfocuscoaching.org. We'll make sure that gets in the show notes as well.
And my email address is Nathan@kingdomfocus.life. And
Kingdomfocus.life. Thank you,
can
Chris.
read a lot there. It's the website.
Yeah, and you can connect with, if you're hearing this inside the online community, you can connect with Nathan inside the online community. Just click on his face and send him a chat message, or reach out to us and we'll put you in touch with him too. So we want to make that as easy as possible, because once again, this is God's problem. It's his deal, and I'm excited. I can't wait to see him. I enjoy watching him working these things out and making these things happen. That's why we do Meet Follower of One. I love hearing the stories. So it's great.
Yeah, he corrected me as soon as I said that. It's kingdomfocuscoaching.com. We changed that recently.
Kingdomfocuscoaching.com.
Yeah.
And we will check the links.
Appreciate
very
you, Mike.
cool. Well, Nathan, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing this, and thanks for being a part of all this. Also, Prestonwood has, if you're in the Dallas area, Prestonwood has a business breakfast coming up on their Plano campus, May the
15th.
Yeah. So thanks for reminding me. I'm actually not going to be able to make it. I will be in Tennessee for my nephew's wedding, but this will be the first one I've missed since we've started partnering together. So
Appreciate your support, Mike.
It's cool. I'm excited, man. It's really neat to see what God's doing. Thank you for being a part of this, Nathan. And Casey and Steve, thank you. And Chris, thank you for joining us today. Just grateful for everyone being a part of this community. God is working, and it's fun to watch him and fun to be a part of it. So thank you all very much. Y'all have a great day.
Ministry with you, Mike.
Yeah, same here, Nathan. Thanks.